Hi, it's James Willoughby, and welcome back to our real estate roundup, where every week we find out what happened in Austin real estate. We certainly had an eventful week with the July 4th rains. I hope all your loved ones are safe, and be sure to donate. We're doing that here at our office to get gloves and water and towels and wipes and everything to help folks clean up the mess, and do support the effort for sure. Anyway, it did affect Austin real estate, as you might expect. Kind of interestingly, we actually saw a dip this week in total inventory, where we had exceeded 15,000 listings last week, and we're now at 14,814. Show you what happened here. This graph, which we show every week, shows what happened last week. Our new active listings were down substantially. We're down to 791 new listings last week versus the last week of June, which we're almost at 1,100 listing. You can see that our pending sales went up a little bit. We're at 825 pending sales for last week. So we didn't actually take on any new net inventory from the activity last week. And so the reason why the total number of listings went down, we'll show you right here. As you may recall from last week's video, we had a substantial number of failed listings at the end of the month. There was some carryover into the first week of July, which we had 371 listings that were taken off the market. And those are folks that decided to throw in the towel. Either their agreement expired or they just decided to not sell and they withdrew their listing. So the big difference for the week was the amount of failed listings, which actually dropped. We go here to our market absorption rate. We went from almost 19 weeks of inventory down to just under 17 or 18 weeks rather of inventory. So the absorption rate is basically in line with what I would expect it to be at this point based on that inventory loss. It doesn't mean a big jump in prices or really move the needle that much for sellers, but it does move it a little bit. I would expect this week to be kind of a funky week in terms of sales. I've had several open houses that didn't happen over the weekend, and a whole bunch of sellers that were disappointed with that, and buyers that also canceled showings. So showings on the weekend usually equal contracts the following week. So I predict for next week's summary that we'll see a drop in the total number of pending listings. Probably likewise, we won't see a ton of new inventory coming on the market either. Maybe our absorption rate will stay about the same, and maybe our listing inventory may not change that much either. We will see. Blessings to all families that had a loss, and let's find out what happens this week in real estate. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.